Well, again, welcome to this webinar for Attached Apps Partners. My name is Sylvia Grabner, and with me is Peter Sabian. I am the Director for Partner and Customer Services, and Peter is our Business Operations Director, and I'll let him just introduce himself and talk a little bit about what he does.
Yeah, hi everybody. Again, Peter Sabian, Director of Business Operations. I just want to say thanks to you guys for joining us today. We're really looking forward to this opportunity to interact and help you start to get to the point where you can be productive with the apps and getting in front of clients about the apps and giving them the free app as a good start. I really think that the free app is a great step to getting clients started, and then of course ultimately moving into the functionalities that we have in the paid apps. So what today is about is some of those pieces of the process that allow that all to work. So I'm one of the things that I do here is particularly with regard to business processes, and those are things that the functionality of processes that you guys interact with to do those sorts of things, to get provisioned for the apps yourselves, and then start getting clients signed up and using the apps as well. So we're really hoping to make sure that that process is a nice, simple, easy, straightforward one. And again, that's what today is about. So we really want to hear from you guys directly, if there's any particular thing that maybe is confusing or is getting in the way of any of that. We hope to get that feedback from you here today, and we do want this to be an interactive session. So if you guys are have a way to be logged into the apps during this session, and you can click along with us where applicable and be in your instance of the apps, just as the screens that Sylvia is going to be showing here. So anyway, I hope this is useful for you guys, and yeah, please feel free at any time to interject with a question, as something might come up that you're curious about.
Great. Thank you, Peter. So yes, as Peter stated, this is a little bit different of a webinar in that, if you've attended other webinars that we've done in the past, those were more, strictly informational and trying to get some of that, information, the messaging that we want to get out to our partners delivered via webinar. This is a more interactive, or the goal here is to be just more interactive and allow you to, click through the different screens as I'm doing stuff on my end, and allow you to ask questions and, interact with us, interact with other partners, and just, the more you can participate, I think the more you'll be able to get out of the session. And so I do have a form of an agenda that I want to just go over with you and kind of show you what we intend to cover, but at any point in time, you have a question, please feel free to interject. So just so that you know what to expect today, the topics we'll be covering are, primarily to make sure that everyone that is with us has had a chance to get more familiar with what the process is to get started. And so we might have attendees that are at different stages here, so I just bear, if you've already gone through one of these stages, I just ask that you bear with us, and maybe somebody might ask a question that you might help us address, or that maybe you want to share your experience about that. So again, we're intending to cover how to get started, how to become a registered partner, and the difference between just signing up to be a partner and what it takes to become a registered partner, and what that enables you to do with as far as being able to deliver the apps to your customers. We'll also go over setting up your partner tile. That's one of the new features that we've introduced here in the last month or so, and something we're really excited about. It's been a long time coming, and we had a lot of requests for something like that. So we're very excited again to be able to deliver that. And then we're going to talk about provisioning the apps. And so we don't require our partners to provision the apps for their own use, but we certainly do encourage it and we recommend it. And primarily that's so that, the more familiar that you are with the applications, obviously the more you'll be able to speak to, the functionality and the benefits to your own customers. But, I understand that some partners might have reasons for, not necessarily provisioning the apps in their live environments, or they might not have a testing environment where they can load up the apps into, and that's fine too. We have other alternatives, so, you can always request. We have a one sandbox environment that we can provide temporary access to, and if you ever want to, even if you're running the apps internally, but you want an environment where you can show something to your clients without necessarily exposing your own live data, that's one place where you can go to and still be able to show the apps and the functionality without, again, exposing your own data. And we just keep a demo type environment and such data in there. So we can definitely give you access to that. And then we'll go through how to add customers. Once you become a registered partner, there's a couple of different ways that you can add a client, a customer, with maintaining the relationship, so that when you do add them in, we're able to tell that that is your particular customer, and you're able to manage that customer from our portal. And then we'll go into the apps themselves, and again, along the lines of getting started and getting everyone more up to speed with what else you need to do to guide your customers, or maybe yourselves, through the next steps once you do get provisioned, or once you add a customer, what needs to happen next. And so along those lines, we'll talk about how you enable the paid applications, because when we first provision the apps for anybody, we provide them with a free application, and then we give you the option to upgrade to the paid apps. And so our partners can enable all the paid applications and use them for as many users as they want without any cost to them. And again, that's a benefit of being a registered partner. And then we'll go through how to assign licenses and security once you enable the paid apps for other users. And then we'll go through and go through some of the other configuration and customization. And again, this is one area where we see our partners potentially realizing some additional revenue with their customers, in that you can serve as that consultant role of making recommendations about how your customers can configure and customize the apps to best serve their needs for their business. And then finally, we'll go through and make sure that everyone knows where to find help files for the apps, where to find our support site, and then other partner resources. We've been devoting a lot of time lately to making sure that our partners have as much documentation and videos and training materials that that at their fingertips through our website. So I'll point you and show you to where you can go to get all that information. And then finally, we'll do a wrap-up Q&A, and anything that you didn't get to ask during the session, or that you think of, or any other comments that you might have, we welcome those. We'll have a wrap-up Q&A session. Okay, so hopefully you have all had a chance to get logged into the apps. And if anybody's having any difficulty or has any questions before we get started, please do let me know. Okay. So if there are no questions to start with, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the material. And again, feel free to jump in and interject anything along the way. So the first experience I want to show is that of a partner, and we're at the sign-in page. And so, of course, this is where you would use the credentials that we sent you to log in. And I'm logging in currently as a partner that is fresh to the whole process. So this is just a test partner that I'm using, and really nothing else has happened beyond the partner received the credentials to get into our portal. So this is what the experience would look like. So we have a profile area and we have a clients area. And so the first thing that you would want to do as this partner is come in here to the profile area and accept the terms of service. And that's essentially what makes our partners a registered partner. So simply signing up is, the first step, but the second step would be to register as a partner, and the way to do that is to accept the terms of service. If you ever want to go back and review what those look like, or you want to do that before you actually check this box, that is a hot link that takes you directly to a page where you can review the partner's terms of service. And so, again, the first thing this partner would want to do is check this box and save that. And what happens immediately after that, and I'm going to log in as a registered partner on a different browser here to show you the difference. And so now when I go into the Profile tab, you see that this partner has already accepted the terms of service. And so now this partner has a URL, a custom URL that was created just for them. And this is one way that our partners can then continue to add clients. So, you can use this link to send to your customers. If you have like a newsletter you send out, you can include this link in there. Or, if you do some email correspondence with your clients or want to make a recommendation and want them to sign up, again, this is how you would want to, this is what you would want to send them, because again, this is what's going to tie their client record in our system to you as their partner. Okay, so that's one way to add clients. We're going to cover another way here in just a little bit. And then again, the next thing that I want to, while I'm in here, the next thing that I want to cover is the support tab that is now available to our partners. And this support tab is actually the way to enable the client or the partner tile that I spoke to a little while ago. So let me first show you what that actually looks like, and then we'll come back and talk about the setup. So as I go over to my dashboard, you see that there's this tile here for SG Graphics. And so again, that area that I was just in, which we'll go back to in just a sec, is how you would enable this additional tile to appear on not just your own dashboard for attached apps, but it's going to appear on every one of your clients' dashboard. So the cool thing here is that, you can, it's interactive. You can design, you can upload your own logo, you can put in any type of message in here that you want to, just push out to your customers, any contact information that you want to make sure that, is at the ready whenever they're in their attached apps dashboard. So have any of you already taken the time to do that, to set up your, I'm curious to know if you've already set up your partner tiles. And I hope I don't have everyone muted again. Let me double check that. Peter, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I've got everyone unmuted that wishes to be unmuted. There we go. Okay. So again, I was just curious to know, have any of you already gone through the exercise of setting up your partner tile?
No.
And did you have any problems with that, or you think that was pretty straightforward? Okay. I think I'm going to go on. I'm not sure. You might be muted if you're trying to speak, so just make sure that you haven't muted yourself. Okay, well, I'm going to go on unless somebody wants to. Oh, hello? Hey, Raj, how are you?
Hi. Good. So I'm not seeing the partner tile, nor do I see that previous screen where you had the partner service contracts checked off, etc.
Okay,
I'm
so
not seeing that before.
You're not seeing that? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing the open opportunities, the total contacts, the weather, and the sales follow-up contacts, customer projects, etc.
Okay.
I've got a blank screen where your partner tile is.
Okay, and Yep, and so I will show you exactly why that is and how you can make your own tile appear there. So
Okay, good.
if we go back, so you're on this dashboard now. If you go to the little tool up there and click on Go to Portal, it's going to take you back to where I was. And now you should see something that looks along like the screen I'm showing here. If you click on your profile and then go to Support tab, what's probably happening is that your own, so this is for your own tile, and this you have to physically enable it. So if I was to uncheck that box, you see what happened is that it all went gray and I can't get into those fields anymore. So you have to check this box to enable it. Then you get this message basically indicating that you're responsible for the content that you present here. And so now you can go in and fill in the information. As you can see, some of the fields are required, some are not. And so there's an area where you can upload your own logo. And again, whatever information you pre-fill in here, like I can go back and just change that to, let's say, LLC. I can upload a different logo. And I encourage anybody that is logged in, which hopefully you all are, to follow along so that you can see what this looks like. So I just changed the logo there, and then I go and save my changes. And now when I go into the apps again, you see I now have a green logo instead of the orange logo, and it changed the name to LLC instead of the ink that was there before. And if you're just joining us, if you are able to log in to our portal, we're trying to make this as interactive a session as possible. So go ahead and log in and let me know if you want me to go back a little bit to get you caught up to where we're at. And
So Raj, did that answer your question about the partner tile?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
I think it's a good time to make a point about, one thing to keep in mind is that there's really kind of like two different environments here. There's the apps, which is, what you're looking at, the dashboard right now, and that's where you can, use the functionalities within the apps in your own firm. But then there's also the portal, which Sylvia is clicking on now, and that's where, you do some management related things. This is where you manage your own account for the apps, and it's where you also would see clients that you may provision for attached apps. So it's kind of a good thing to know and keep in mind that there's those kind of two separate areas of the apps that you have as a partner. Now, obviously, clients are going to be a little bit different, but that's the way it would work for you guys as partners.
Thank you, Peter. That is a very good point. And and once you get more accustomed to being in and out of the apps, it'll become more second nature. But at first, yes, you just need to be aware that there are two separate. You're logged into one portal, but the experience may be different depending on where you're at. And the end user typically, the portal that you're seeing here on my screen is strictly for partners. So your customers aren't going to ever see this screen. Whenever they log in with their credentials, they're going to be taken directly to the attached apps dashboard. And again, depending on who the end user is, what apps they've activated, and what they're licensed for, their dashboard experience will be a little bit different. But they don't ever see that other side, the portal site. That's strictly something that only our partners are able to access. Great. Any other questions before I move on to the next topic? Okay, so I'm going to actually go back to the portal and I'm going to bring up this other partner record. So again, this is a partner that hasn't provisioned the apps for themselves. So as I click over here, the way that this would present itself for somebody that hasn't gone in here to provision the apps is that they would see just their own company record in here, and when they click on that, they would be taken to this screen. And so this is where they would enter their credentials to get provisioned. And I think based on the audience that I'm seeing, I think most of you have already had a chance to do that. But if you haven't, again, you know, the way to get the experience of, and you can see up here too, as I'm logged in as this partner who has not provisioned, all I'm seeing is this profile and this clients area. And so the difference again is that if I go back to the portal for the other partner, I have profile clients and then I have the attached apps link, and so that takes me to my dashboard. So again, you know, like I said, we don't require that you provision the apps for your own firm, but we certainly do recommend it. And it just, you know, it's one way to, you know, for one thing, you always can see what your own tile is going to look like when it gets pushed up to your customers if you're running the apps yourselves. But, you know, it also just gives you that way to better familiarize yourself with the apps. Okay, so I talked about the different ways to add clients, and the first one I discussed was the that URL that you get back in this profile area. Okay, and so the second way that you can add clients is you can basically add them yourself. So you can send that URL to your customers, and they can go and sign up themselves, and it'll still tie you in as their partner of record. But you as a partner, if you have all of the information that's required to add that client into attached apps, you can certainly do that yourself from here. And so again, once you agree to that terms of service and you get that URL, you also get this add button that appears here. So when I click on that, it's going to take me to a page where I can fill out the form on behalf of my client. And again, assuming you have all this information, you can go ahead and do that for them yourselves. And the key thing here is, you know, we do require that the administrator account email and password be submitted as part of the sign-up process, you know, when a client is doing this. So again, if you're serving as their administrator for Office 365 and have access to all that, then you can easily do that yourself from here and just add them in. Or if that's something that they need to submit themselves, you can just send them the URL. And you'll notice that the URL is actually exactly the same here as it was on the profile area. And that's again to indicate which partner that client is signing up under.
So I think that's probably obvious for everybody, but I'll just want to add that, so that URL that you see right there, if you were to send that or make that, you know, in an email or make it available on your website to clients, when they click on that, it's going to open that very same sign-up form for your client, which then, of course, they would fill out and submit. And then, you know, we receive that record and they get provision for attached apps, and their record is connected to you as their partner. Either way, the connection to you as their partner works either way.
Okay. All right, if there are no questions about that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to actually going into the apps and showing you some of the administrative things that you can do on behalf of your clients. So before I jump in there, actually, let me go in here into clients since we're in the portal. So from here, again, this is the areas Peter mentioned, you know, the portal experience for the partners where you would have the ability to manage those clients. So for attached apps anyway. So from here, you can see I have a series of client records. And so these are all clients that have been added under this partner. And so if I go in here into one of these clients, you can see I have some information that I'm exposed to, particularly, you know, the staff listing for that particular customer, as well as the settings area. And we're going to go into detail here in just a minute to review everything that appears in the settings area, but I just want you to be aware that as a partner, you will have access to administer the apps for your clients by going into the portal and just going into their client record. Okay. So I'm going to jump right into the apps now. And so again, I want to go over, any of you that have provision or, or will provision in your future, you need to just know that when you first provision, as I mentioned earlier, everyone gets the free application, Attached Contacts. So you would typically see this contacts icon, and you would see this staff icon, and you would see the settings icon when you first come in here. Until you enable the paid applications, that's all that you or any of your users would be able to see. So to enable the paid applications, you would go into settings. And they've already been enabled for this particular firm, so I'm going to actually show you a picture of what it will look like when it's not enabled yet. So as you can see on my screen, there's a section here under User Licensing that says click here to turn Attached Contacts Plus on for all users. So this is where you would go to enable all the other paid applications. So again, you see that right now all that I'm seeing is the settings, the staff, and the contacts icons. But once you enable the others, then you'll be able to get access to the other applications. And so here on user licensing, once you do that, it gives you the ability to go into the individual user records and enable them for the apps. And again, you as a partner, even though you'll see dollar amounts show up here, you're never going to be billed for those. So, you can feel free to have as many users and enable them for any of the apps at any time.
So Sylvia, one point that I could interject here that occurs to me is that a good thing for everybody to remember is that the experience for any given user within a firm can be a little bit different and customized to that user's need. And where that would be most obvious would be right up in the top where those 6 different icons sit. Maybe you've got right where Sylvia's pointing out, maybe you've got some a client with some employees that don't, all they need is the contacts app. So then they would just see the contacts icon and the settings, maybe not even the settings unless they're a firm admin, but the staff icon. If they happen to be an employee that needs sales and or customers apps, then they would see those tiles there as well. So again, just to point out that it's a totally customizable app on a user-by-user basis within your client's firms.
That's right. And one thing that I don't think I mentioned is once you turn on Attached Contacts Plus, I don't know if you caught this, but it tells you that you are enabling it for all users. And you actually get a message appear that asks you to confirm that. And the reason that's important is because once you enable it, Attached Contacts Plus, it is actually something that needs to be enabled for all users. So that the way that it works is that from there, every user has to be on at least Contacts Plus in order for all the other paid apps to work. Because just the way that it gets administered and the level of security and everything else that that comes with can only be implemented if it's implemented across the entire firm. And so one of the things that I know I've been asked recently is, when I first provisioned, I had 20 users, but now, I want to just keep, these 15 continuing to use Contacts Plus, and these other 5, they don't need to be on there. So that you can always disable or other users that don't need to have access to any of it. But as long as the user is going to have access to the paid apps, they need to be on at least Contacts Plus. Does that make sense? Okay. So the next thing that I want to cover is, so once, we've now enabled the paid applications and we've licensed all the users that we want to license for the paid apps. So the next thing to do after that is to assign user security. So the one of the biggest differences between the free application and the paid, or the first paid application, Contacts Plus, is that it does allow you to set user security for each individual user, so it limits what users can do, whereas in the free app pretty much everyone has the same level of access. So it just allows for better controls of who's doing what. And so this user security tab would then appear once I enable the paid apps, and then I can go in here and assign each of my users the specific security class that I want them to have. And so if you're wondering, well, what do the different security classes even mean? Like, what does it allow them to do or not do? And this is actually a good segue into going over to the help files and how you get there. So up at the top here I have my help icon, and I don't know how many of you have had the chance to go in there or not, but there's quite a bit of useful information, a lot of articles. There's even some training videos in there that you can go to. And I'm just going to type in security class in here and go to the first article here. And that's going to bring me to another tab that brought me to the support site. And as you can see from here, I can see not just how to set a security class, but what the definition for each security class is. And again, what does it allow and not allow users to do. And then oh, go ahead, Peter.
I'm sorry, Sylvia, you may have made this point, but I just want to stress that this is one of the main differences between the free Contacts level and Contacts Plus, is that you do get this ability to assign security classes and manage overall security of the apps in Contacts Plus.
Great. And so while I'm in here, I just wanted to show you, as I mentioned, we have quite an extensive knowledge base. So, you can always find other information about anything related to the apps. And as I mentioned, we have some training videos in here as well that might be helpful for you to send your customers to, or you yourselves, if you ever, just have a quick question. This is the first place you would want to look. And the other thing with we are powered by Zendesk as far as our support site runs on Zendesk. And so you'll notice that up here it already recognizes that I'm logged in as Sarah. And so we use single sign-on with Zendesk. So when we create new users for our apps, they automatically get created in Zendesk. And so when they go to the support site from within the apps, it already recognizes them as a user. And so if they were to submit a request or wanted to check existing requests for themselves or for their firm, they can easily do that directly from here. Okay. So that's our support site and help files. And so while we're in here within the settings area, again, this is a pretty important area because this is how we administer the apps, or how you as the partner can administer the apps for your customers, or where the firm admin would come in to do the administration and setup. So the first tab that you see here, and I think I've already talked to some of you about this because it might have already come up for you, but this is where we keep and maintain the credentials for that administrative user that we use to provision the apps. So anytime that this password for that user that we used changes in Office 365, we have to make sure that this password gets updated here in the apps as well. So again, whoever is doing, serving as the administrator would need to go in here and make sure that this password is updated. And so what happens is that whenever stops working, whenever that password changes in Office 365 and doesn't get updated here, the first thing that you'll notice is right now it's not working because I can tell that, with these two checkboxes here are not checked. And so when the integration is fully functional and everything's working fine, these two checkboxes should stay checked. But as soon as it tries to sync with Exchange, and if it's not able to, it turns it off, and then you'll get a message that basically tells you need to go in here and update the password. So if you have users that might be coming to you saying, my integration with Exchange doesn't seem to be working, I can't import contacts from Outlook, or it looks like the sync to Outlook isn't working, this is the first place that you would want to look. All right, next we have the org name and logo tab, and this is one area where we're still working on actually developing some functionality around this tab, but we left it exposed just so that people can go ahead and put in their company logo, so that, and this is the customer. This is different from where I showed you could put your logo in as a partner. This is for the customer's experience. But again, stay tuned for upcoming features around this particular setting. Right now it's just a holding place.
So I think, Sylvia, the idea with that is that when that functionality is turned on, that the user firm will have a way to have their logo present on the dashboard, so that all the users across their company will, in a sense, recognize, okay, this is my company's tool that I'm using. It just kind of reinforces that identity. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. Okay. And then the next thing, this is one area where, again, speaking to the configuration and the customization that you as a partner might be able to offer as a service to your customers. This is where a lot of that would take place, so, or the bulk of that. Throughout the applications, you'll see different lists and drop-downs, pick lists that have values populated within them, and those values are something that you can certainly change or add to depending on the type of business that your customer is running and what their internal processes are. For example, the contact type. So all of these values come in out of the box essentially with attached apps, but they can certainly be changed again to something that is more applicable to your specific customer. So depending on, maybe they call them customers and not clients, so you can just get rid of the customer label. And so this is where you would make all those changes from. Like in sales, the sales stages are what we populate the app with, but again, any and all of these values can be modified to meet the needs of the firm specifically and make it more in line with whatever whatever their processes are. Okay. And then we went over user security and user licensing, so I'll skip over into the email tracking tab. So our email tracking feature, we have it for both contacts and for sales and customers. And so this is where you would go in to set up the parameters for specifically your subject line email tracking for sales and customers. And so some of you may have, as we interact with you, maybe specifically, with Peter and I, you might have seen some of the emails that we send out to you might have an ID number in the subject line. And that's because we use the apps internally to track all of the interactions with our partners and our customers. So that's why you see that in there. Those are the parameters that we have set within our own instance of attached apps, so that we're tracking all of the email in one central location, our interactions with you guys. And that's why you see that in the subject line with our email correspondence.
So, Sylvia, if I could add in right there.
Sure.
Just keep in mind there's really kind of like two ways to use the email tracking feature. And the ID number in the subject line pertains specifically to tracking email that's related to a sale opportunity or a customer record, so that you can individually track the emails that are specifically connected to those records. The other way to track email is related to a contact, and so right in the view of any particular contact record email, you can make a decision to track that or not, and then going forward, all email to and from that contact is going to be tracked in the contact record. So there's kind of two different ways that we enable the ability to track email within the apps. And so that's what Sylvia's showing you right there so for this contact, Jade Forrest, he's got only, in this case, one email. There might be more than one email. You can make an individual decision on each email for a contact whether to track it or not. And of course, that can be turned on and off at any time as appropriate.
Okay. You all have been very quiet. I just want to make sure that I haven't missed anybody having any questions about anything so far. Okay. Well, I will just keep going. And back to the settings area. Let's see, we left off here. Next is the numbering tab. And here's just a place where you can designate what the next opportunity or project number would be within our app. So if maybe your customers are coming off of a different system and they use specific sales opportunity numbers that they were tracking previously, and they want to pick up where they left off, so that maybe their old numbering system, that the last one might have been 10,003 or whatever, and they want to start with the next number that's available or whatever. This is where you would set that up from. And then lastly, we have the Support Partner tab. So here it's indicating that I don't have a partner selected, and that's because I am logged in as a partner. So I'm going to pull up just a picture of what it would look like from the client's perspective. So if I'm a client logged into the apps and I have a partner that's assigned to me, my Support Partner tab would look something like this. And so here it's telling me that Sarah Garfield is my partner of record, and I have the option to allow Sarah to serve as my support partner and access all of these settings on my behalf and administer the apps for me. So as long as that's checked, again, they're allowing you to make changes to any of these tabs so that you can serve as one of their administrators or as their administrator.
So basically, that checkbox is giving the control to the client as to whether they want you as a partner to have access to these tabs to control their and do some setup of their experience within the apps.
Okay. Let's see. So that's all the settings area, and I hope that maybe answered some questions for some of you, or just gave you some more insight into what that's all about, and again, how you can function as the administrator on behalf of your clients. And then the last thing that I want to make sure that we have a chance to cover with you is, as I mentioned earlier on, we have spent quite a bit of time developing more and better materials for you, our partners, to have access to. So I don't know how many of you have recently gone into our website, but if you haven't been there recently, I encourage you to check it out. We under the partners section, we have all kinds of things in here, beginning with we post our newsletters and blogs all in here, so all that is in one place. We also have webinars that we're now posting on here, and this webinar will be posted on here. Any future webinars that we do will go directly in here, and you can view them whenever you would like. We also have quite a few documents that we've posted and can be downloaded by you all, along with a description of what they all entail. So again, just some really good resources for you to to have access to, and hopefully, again, it gives you enough to take to your customers and, present our apps to them and recommend the apps, and basically, start getting them up and running on, start off with the free apps and let them try them out, and then, kind of explain the benefits of the paid apps, and whenever they're ready, they can always upgrade to the paid applications. All right, so I think that's all I've got. Peter, is there anything that I have left out that you want to go over?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. I just would maybe want to stress that, as far as reaching out to, one of the things that we've thought about is, okay, how can we make it really easy for our partners to, reach out to their clients and, introduce the idea of attached apps and, the attractiveness of a free web-based app that really, requires nothing, gets installed on the computers across the company. It's just a web-based app that they have to provision. So it's kind of a very easy proposition to make available to clients, and if they try it and they like it, great. They're going to get, even within the free app, there's a ton of functionality that's going to be very useful to almost any kind of business you can imagine. And then, of course, the idea for you guys as partners is that, yeah, they're going to like that functionality and, relatively quickly be wanting to upgrade to get even some of the more powerful functionality in the paid apps. And, of course, that's, right there is where you guys start earning revenue from the monthly subscriptions that your customers are going to enable. And keep in mind, these apps, the monthly subscriptions, are quite affordable for your clients. So it's not like you're trying to convince them to spend a whole bunch of money or anything like that. These are, it's really targeted to the small and medium-sized businesses that are more sensitive to cost issues. So we're really hoping that and we think by the fact that you guys have attended today, we're really happy that you've done that. Hopefully that demonstrates your interest in the apps and maybe getting to the next step of actively starting to get in front of clients about them. So that's back to what these partner downloads are about. Is particularly you'll notice a couple there about client messaging. So if you take a look at those, one is the framework is a more complete set of messaging with ideas about how to talk to clients about the apps, and then the overview version is really just a one-page, very simple view of the apps that might be a real quick way that you could introduce them to clients and maybe get some of those companies interested in getting started.
Great. Well, as I mentioned, we are going to post the recording of this webinar up on our site here, and you'll also receive a follow-up email, and if there's any other questions that we didn't get to answer for you or maybe you thought of afterward, please do let us know. Peter and I are here to assist, and anything that you might be struggling with or just isn't really clear and you want to take that offline, we can certainly help you address anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to call us or email us anytime with a question, and we'll be happy to help with whatever that might be.
Great. Well, unless there's anything else, I'm going to give you another minute just in case you have some final questions for us. Great. Well, I appreciate everyone's time, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
for seeing you guys.